Hi, OC. How are you?
Hi, good evening.
How's everything? Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, Radia. I'm okay.
Good, good. Oh no. Yes. Hi, Ty. Edwin.
Good evening. How's everyone?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Excited to be here.
Nice. Thanks for joining. Welcome. Okay, it's 7 o'clock now. I think we'll give it like maybe 3 more minutes. We have a couple more people we're expecting. But welcome everyone. This is the Business Development Committee March meeting. Hi, Gina. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. We're going to give it maybe 3 minutes. I'm just giving people time to trickle in. Ty, are you a panelist now?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I should be all set. Sorry.
I just saw your. Edwin, you're our public member, correct? Oh, yeah, I see you put your PM in your title. That's great. Hi, Luca.
Hi, good evening. Of
How are you? Thanks for joining.
course, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. We're gonna get started in like 1 or 2 more minutes. I'm just giving people time to trickle in. I know it's right after work. It's rainy. The commutes are crazy. So people a couple seconds. Hi, Wayne.
Hello, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, good.
Oh, that's a great background.
It is Curacao.
Hey, wait, you
Oh,
know what?
Hmm?
I was gonna reach out to you today and ask you to come on tonight, but I
Here
didn't.
I am. Here I am.
Yeah, yes, but I didn't because I had surgery yesterday, so I'm still sort of in a little bit of a fog. So that's why when I just saw you, I went, "Oh my God, I forgot to reach out to him." So,
You sent a mental note, and I got it.
see, there you go.
hi, Carl. How are you? I think we might have a full house. I think we're just missing.
Adaya,
Hi.
here.
Okay, good. How are you? All right, giving it just 1 more minute, and then we'll get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Any special guest tonight?
Yes, we have a couple. We have kind of a full house today, so
Oh, wow,
we kind
interesting.
of get started on time. I was just giving everyone a chance to join.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Hey, Radia, there's someone in the attendee register with a phone number. I don't know who it might be, but I'm gonna swing him over just to
Okay.
make sure.
Hi. Hi everyone. This is Darley. I'm still on transit driving home and I
Okay.
can't get on the Zoom regularly, so I have to join via my phone. I mean, a phone call.
That's fine, Darlie. Thank you for joining. And with that, we have a full committee, I believe. Everyone's here. So we are going to get started. It's 7:05. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I want to thank everyone for joining us on this rainy Tuesday. Thank you for taking the time out. Um, I'll quickly introduce myself and then have my committee members do so as well. My name is Radia Barnes. I am the chair of this committee. I am a Washington Heights resident, born and raised. I have been in this community for so long, raised my son in this community, and I work in Harlem. I serve as the community partner manager for Workforce One on 125th Street. I also am involved in other things throughout the community, but I'm excited to be chairing this committee. I served as vice president last term under Joel Abreu, so now I have taken the helm. Hopefully, I can run it as smoothly as he did. He was fantastic. But thank you everyone for joining us. And I'm going to pass it on to who do I see next? Carl, if you could just quickly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Name is Carl Unebu, member of the committee, and proud to be a member of the committee and happy to be here tonight. Thank you.
You. Who's next? OC?
Yeah, hi, good evening. I'm new to the committee. It's my second meeting at this committee. I'm also the assistant chair for the Health and Environment Committee.
Amazing. Thank you. Darlie?
Hi, thank you. My name is Darlie Cornell. This is my second year in the community board, and this is also my second year at the business development committee. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Edwin? Can you hear me, Edwin? Okay, Edwin's our brand new public member. We're excited to have him and appreciate him taking time out of his schedule to participate. I'm going to go over to our colleagues, our community board members. Oh, Ty. Sorry, Ty. Ty, can you introduce
No,
yourself?
no worries. I'm new to this committee. It's my first year on the board. I've been really enjoying being on the board and representing this amazing community. And really happy to be on this committee as well now. I for most of my life was an entrepreneur. I started a web design business and ran that, mostly in New York City, a little bit in New Jersey, came back. So I know all about the challenges of being a business owner, trying to find the right resources and financing and, do the right things for your business and your employees and all of that. So that's near and dear to my heart, and excited to try to help business owners in the community thrive.
Okay, thank you so much. Wayne, who's on Community Board 12, do you mind saying hello?
Sure. How are you? I'm Wayne Benjamin. I am not a member of this committee. I am a member of CB12 and I chair the land use committee.
Wonderful, thank you. John Benitez, are you on this committee? There was some back and forth. Can you hear me? I think you're muted. I don't know, maybe do I have to mute him?
Radia, before I leave you with the reins, I just want to remind you something that Alexis has been stressing. I think now it's part of this procedure while you guys are having Zoom meetings and not hybrid. All the board members need to have their camera on throughout the meeting. And I'm pretty sure you've heard it, so I don't know if you want to, just let everybody know, including the public members. And have a good meeting. I'm going to turn the controls to you. Everyone have a good evening.
Thank you, Paola. We appreciate you.
Actually,
Okay.
it's not really a new regulation that started since we are on Zoom a long time ago.
Okay. Okay, let me see, John. Hi, John. If you at any time you're able to unmute, feel free to do so. But welcome to the committee. I'm going to ask.
Radia, you froze for a few moments.
Oh, I did? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Am I unfrozen now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to have, oh, Edwin, I see you there. Are you able to speak, Edwin, and say a quick hello? I wonder if we're having Zoom difficulties.
No, because everybody else is fine and live and moving. And you froze a little bit just when I gave you the hosting abilities, but everything else is fine.
Okay. Okay, Edwin, if you're able to unmute yourself or speak, feel free to pop in and say hello when your sound comes in. Let me see. Jackie, do you mind saying a quick hello?
Sure. I'm Jackie Tessman, Director of Development for Community League of the Heights, also known as Cloth, in Washington Heights. And we're leading the effort to create a bid along with several other community-based organizations in Washington Heights, and we'll talk about that in a little while.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome, Gina. Just want to say a quick hello.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Gina Lee. I'm a senior program coordinator at ANHD, the Association for Neighborhood and Housing Development. I'm just here to present on some of our work and get to talk with you all. So very excited. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful, thank you. And Luca, thank you for joining us. Do you mind saying a quick hello?
Of course, yeah. Good evening, everyone. Oh, I think I've wrote, there we go. Good evening. My name is Lucas Zubieta. I am Councilmember Sean Abreu's Constituent Services Liaison and Budget Associate. Happy to be here and meet all you guys.
Thanks for joining. And then we have Denise. Denise, did you want to say a quick hello? Okay, so I think I have everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for introducing yourselves. We're going to move on along our agenda. I don't have any new announcements. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to announce or speak about? Any new announcements? Any of the board? Make sure, let's see. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to bring on Gina Lee, who's the Senior Program Coordinator for the Association for the Neighborhood and Housing Development. She is going to speak about small business policy and capacity building work that the organization does. So I'm going to bring Gina on.
Great. Thanks so much. Okay, let me start sharing my screen. I just have a short presentation. It's loading. There we go. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm Gina Lee, again, Senior Program Coordinator, and I kind of work on our small business work across different departments at ANHD, including capacity building, research, and organizing. So I'm going to kind of give you an overview first about ANHD, the organization, and then I'll jump into some more small business specific presentation about our work. So we are a member organization, and actually Cloth is a member of ANHD, so that's very exciting that we have a member here. But we build community power to win affordable housing and thriving, equitable neighborhoods for all New Yorkers. And as a member organization of community groups across all of New York City, we use research, advocacy, and grassroots organizing to support our members in their work to build equity and justice in their neighborhoods and citywide. We believe housing justice is economic justice, is racial justice. So our small business work fits into our equitable economic development framework. And it's just one of many different areas that we focus on within that framework. So first, I want to start by talking about one of our programs, a capacity building program called the Citywide Merchant Organizing Project, CMOP. So that's an initiative that we started a few years ago, at first in partnership with SBS, and then now with private partners funding this program. It's an initiative that works toward establishing a power building model of merchant organizing, increasing merchant organizing, coordination, and collaboration among neighborhoods, and strengthening a citywide base of merchants ready to fight against displacement threats. So you'll see in the rest of my presentation that we really focus on anti-displacement as our primary policy goal with our small business policy work. And that means we focus a lot on commercial tenants as well as street vendors. So those are our primary kind of constituents when we're talking about small business. So I know the small business community is a lot larger than that, but that is our focus area. So through CMOP, this is kind of a demonstration of our theory of change. So what we do, we build capacity of merchant organizers. So those are folks who are working on the ground at different community-based organizations who are just learning about or starting their career in organizing small businesses. So we host trainings, and we have a cohort of organizers where they learn from experts and practitioners and other organizers and folks in the field about organizing, and also about, more general small business challenges, small business landscape. But specifically, we do really focus on organizing as the main kind of content of our trainings. And then with those trainings, those organizers go back into their communities and develop their members and leaders. So they do outreach, they have meetings, they do one-on-ones, and they really focus on working directly with merchants to build their leadership and their ability to kind of be a voice in their community. And then lastly, with those leaders, merchant associations are able to build resilience against displacement threats. So there's merchant-led social networks and gatherings, meetings, and then hopefully, this is kind of the dream for everyone, but campaigns, local campaigns, citywide campaigns that really target policy change that get at that displacement and fighting against that displacement threat. So that's kind of what we're doing at ANHD in terms of our capacity building work with organizations and organizers in merchant organizing. And then we also do advocacy. So like I said, we hope that all of the kind of merchant associations and merchants that we're working with are able to build local campaigns in their neighborhoods, but we also want to be kind of looking at different citywide reforms, whether that's legislation or other city policy and programs that we can advocate for. So this is just an example of something that we won. This is now several years ago, but it ties well into the research piece, which I'll present on. So I'm, highlighting this. I'm sure you all are familiar with or have heard of the Storefront Registry, which is a public New York City open data set that allows the public to see storefront rents and vacancies that are requires landlords to report those numbers to the city, and the city publishes it every year. So that was legislation that one of our coalitions, a coalition that we're part of, won several years ago and allowed us to have access to this data that would then inform a lot of our research over the past several years. So if you're not familiar with this this legislation or this registry, I can share out the link, but it is a really important tool that the city has a responsibility to maintain. Whether that data set is the most rigorous is still kind of in the works. As you all probably know, it's city data can rely a lot on individual reporting and is not always the highest quality, but we are working on that, and we're hoping to, continue to strengthen this registry and make it something that is accessible to everyone, regardless of like data licensing that some other platforms require. Okay, and then so I wanted to focus kind of the second half of my presentation on our research, and you'll see, so this, for example, is the type of research that we've been doing over the past few years using that Storefront Registry data set. So this is a map. It's actually interactive and live on our website, but here it's I just have a kind of screenshot of it. But you can go to this website and check it out. You can see that, the purple is where rents have been rising, the orange is where rents have been decreasing, and most of the city is in purple. So we have done a bunch of analysis and writing on what we're seeing, why we think these are the trends, and what we can potentially do to confront these trends that are concerning, considering how high commercial rents are already. And sorry about the screenshot, but again, if you go to our website, you can kind of click around and play with this map. So more recently, we have just this week published a new report. It's called Organizing to Keep the Doors Open, a collective strategy against small business displacement. And in this report, we propose exactly what I shared with you earlier, which is a model of merchant organizing that centers mom and pop shops, street vendors, and other small businesses. And through focus groups, we heard directly from those small businesses about challenges and the potential that they see in merchant organizing coming together with their fellow small businesses. And we also heard from established groups like the East Village Independent Merchants Associations and other CBOs that are doing merchant organizing. And yeah, we really are making the case that an economic development strategy that protects small businesses and neighborhood economies from gentrification and displacement must include a significant investment in merchant organizing to keep those merchant networks strong and resilient and make sure that merchant associations are continuously funded and able to continue their work. So these are just some examples of folks that we talked to and things that we heard. And I'm sure all of you all are very familiar with these types of challenges, but in the report, we do kind of a deeper dive into the challenges that we heard and, the focus group participants raised. So a lot about rules and regulations and fines and fees. People have a lot of trouble navigating those kind of difficult systems without responsive government partnership. Again, rent was a huge thing that came up. Folks who are entrepreneurs and are maybe starting their business online or at home and are looking for space find that landlords are often not, even if their storefront is vacant, are not willing to rent it and would rather, hold it at a very high price. And then other small business owners who do have a rent a space said that they had invested a lot of money into renovating and making a space that was appropriate for their business, and then they'd have to leave, if they were either, being forced out or if they had changes in their business plan and were leaving the space, they would lose all that money that they invested. And then, access to capital. I think that's something that we hear consistently kind of across the board. It's hard for small businesses, and especially for folks who are starting who don't have a track record or don't have the things that obviously larger businesses or big corporations have in order to access capital. So those are some examples. But really the crux of the report and the main focus of the report is this. It's that we found that a lot of small business owners, a lot of merchants that we talked to, they were wanting to be in community and wanting to work together and not so much trying to be in competition. And that's really like the narrative that we're trying to fight against, that, small businesses have to fight each other in order to survive. Really, if you bring the community together, figure out, share challenges, brainstorm solutions together, you can really make the type of policy change that can keep all of those businesses open and thriving. And it's not really competition when it comes to this type of merchant organizing. So I think I will leave it there for now. I can share, I have other things from the report or other pieces that I can share, but I know I don't want to, talk too much. So I'm happy to take questions or whatever makes sense for the committee. But thank you all for listening.
Yeah, that was great. Really informative. Does anybody have any questions for Gina?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how businesses kind of reach you and get access to this help. Like, are you running events in communities? Do people know about you and come to the office? What's the path there?
Yeah, totally. So we, ANHD, don't do a lot of direct interface with businesses. So how we kind of our reach is to those organizers that are doing that direct interfacing, and then we kind of share resources, get folks to hear about different events and opportunities through those organizers and other organizations. So we're kind of you can think of it as a train the trainer type of thing, where we're really working with folks who are doing the on the ground work and interfacing with businesses. So we have those types of CBOs, connections all throughout the city. So a lot of our partners are folks who are, doing that like daily work and not only organizing, but also, providing a lot of services and resources and doing the like TA and technical assistance and other types of support. But in terms of like our policy advocacy work, um, we actually don't have like an active coalition right now, but there are like previously we had a coalition called United for Small Business New York City, and that was a coalition that really worked on the legislation for the storefront registry and other types of citywide advocacy work. So I think now we're seeing a lot of renewed kind of with a new mayor and a lot of renewed interest in kind of progressive small business policy. So, there might be an opportunity for a new citywide campaign for new legislation in the next like year or so. So we're really excited to work with those partners to hear back what the businesses on the ground are saying and what these different ideas for policy are, and then try to lead that type of work at the citywide level.
Got it. Sorry, and one last question,
Yeah.
let's see, before we go to you. Is there any particular of your community organizations that works in our area that, we should be in touch with?
Yeah. Yeah, our members do work all throughout the city. But in terms of the members that I'm currently working with, so like the members that we have partnership with and like are actively funding to do the merchant organizing work, I don't think we have we only have 4 partners right now, and they are all they're in one in the Bronx, one in Queens, one in Brooklyn, one in the East Village. So,
Got it. Okay.
not currently, but we do a cycle. It's a cohort model that renews every year. So, we're going to be bringing new partners in probably in the summer or in January. So we'll be, looking out for, or you all can look out for our membership emails and see if there's any organizations in your area that would want to apply.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Osi?
Yes, thank you. Could you tell us why the rent is decreasing in Lower Manhattan? Is that related to the congestion pricing?
That's a great question. I don't think there's any research that directly makes that argument right now. It might be, but that'd be speculating on my end. But I do think that there was a general decrease from the pandemic, mostly in Manhattan because of the shutdown. And so you can see if you look at our that rent map from the previous year, so the 2019 to 2020 rent map, there's more of a decrease, and especially in Manhattan. So I think the pandemic did have an impact on commercial rents. And then I think the trend has been that post-pandemic, Manhattan has been increasing their rents, but at a lower rate than those other boroughs, like Lower Manhattan. So it's just not caught up yet, but it is still, it's not like they're not drastically lower. It's just that they're kind of still catching up or have just hovering around those pre-pandemic levels compared to the other boroughs.
Now, I have a question. How long have you been in existence, and what's the main focus of your activity over the next 12 months, maybe 24 months? In other words, where are you headed next, and how long have you been around?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I think so we've been around since 1974, so over 50 years. And as I said in the introduction, we really started out as an affordable housing organization. So we focus on a lot of our members are affordable housing developers, and we focus on affordable housing policy in New York City. around like 15 years ago, I think some of our members raised this concern about small businesses and about economic development in general, and that, we can build all the housing, we can make residential rents affordable, but if businesses are being pushed out and like the character of neighborhoods is changing, then those residents, even if they are able to have an affordable place to live in their neighborhood, the neighborhood isn't going to be the same, right? So we are hearing that from a lot of our members, and so we decided to incorporate small business and economic development into our broader mission. So that was about, I think that was about 15 years ago. And then, and I've been with ANHD for the past 5 years. And definitely in that time, a lot of different things have happened in like city government, and we've done a lot of different things on policy and had to shift gears and done a lot of different economic, at one point we were maybe going to start focusing more on workforce development. So there have been a lot of pieces to this. But I think for now, we're really excited about the street vendor legislation that passed. And so we're working with Street Vendor Project to monitor the implementation of those bills. So that's one thing that we're doing. Another thing is there is a commercial rent stabilization bill at the state level right now that has been introduced. So we are we haven't come out with a public position on that yet. And there's a lot of factors obviously related to that require us to do research. But I think that is something that we'll be thinking about and working with our members to see if that's something that we're interested in supporting. And then, there's, legislative calendar is filling up at the city level as well. So we're looking at new bills that we can potentially introduce with council at the city level. So that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Very, very interesting. Did anyone else have any other questions? The registry, did you say that is accessible to everyone, or is it?
Yes, it is accessible to everyone. And I can share the link to that. Here is the actual data. So the data has been updated for last in December. So now we have another year of data that's available to us. That's another thing to Carl's question. Something that we might be working on is updating that rent map for using this new data release. We have limited staff capacity, so that's kind of like the question of are we going to get around to a new version of this map this year? But that is available for anyone to look at, play with the data. And I actually know of some colleagues at other organizations who are maybe going to put out some research using that data. So it's not just us, it's available. But like I said, it's not the strongest data set. And, we're working with limitations, but I do think it's really important for us to kind of keep the pressure on the city to make this data available because, we don't want this to be a private license data. We don't want, we want the public to have access and not for it to be like held behind a paywall or licensing. So I think it's important that we continue to use it and continue to give the city feedback that, maybe they need better enforcement of that landlord reporting requirement.
Certainly. Well, thank you. If no one has any other questions, I will thank you, Gina, so much for joining us. I'm sure I'm going to reach out because maybe in the next month or so, when we are coming up with resolutions or we need some more additional information, we would love to maybe have you back in another, couple months. And then you could provide even more information.
Yes, totally. And I'll just plug before I go, I am working currently with a reporter who is writing a piece about how e-commerce is affecting small businesses and folks who are maybe struggling because of that impact. So if anyone, if you all work with anyone or know of anyone that would be willing to speak to the press, a business owner, yeah, it's a really lovely reporter who is very friendly and like community minded. So I don't think it would be too much of a, scary press interaction. So yeah, let me know. Here's my email. And if you have any other questions, please let me know.
Thank you
Sorry,
so
who is this reporter?
Her name is Saritha Ramakrishnan. She's working with Urban Omnibus. So yeah, she's working on this kind of long form journalism piece about e-commerce and small business in New York City. So yeah, let me know if you know of anyone who would want to speak with her.
Thank you.
All right.
Jeannie,
Thanks so much.
yes, have a good evening. You're free to, if you want to stay on, please do so. But if not, have a good evening.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Perfect. So we're going to move on down the line. So now we're going to just discuss the bid. I thought that Anthony, our chair, was going to join us because he was interested in hearing just some overall updates about the bid. If there's anything new going on, is there any way that we could support? We have Jackie Tessman from Community League of the Heights, and then we have let's see your name again because you replace. So we have Luca from Shona Brea's office, and then I thought we were gonna have Anthony. So I guess the discussion will be amongst us. Jackie, I appreciate you jumping on. I know that you just had hand surgery. I hope you're feeling okay. It will make this short and painless. Get you in and out of here.
Well, that's good because that's why I was going to ask Wayne to come on, and Allah, here he is.
Yeah, so we have Wayne as well. Sorry, Wayne. Yes.
Wayne is part of our steering committee, as is Denise Caniff, by the way. I see that she's on also. Denise lives in one of the co-ops. Let's start from the beginning, just in case, just to bring everybody up to speed. We are closing out our 4th year of this iteration of developing a business improvement district on Broadway between 155th and 178th Street. We are currently moving into the outreach phase, which means this is a time when we reach out to property owners and get their buy-in. There's a whole ballot that's involved. We have to speak to property owners. We have to speak to merchants. We have to speak to residents. We need 51% of property owners on board. We need about 25% of merchants on board. And for residents, it's not necessarily a majority, but obviously we would like their support. And please, Wayne and Denise, please chime in anytime that you want to. As far as council is concerned, I don't think we ever discussed this. So thank you, Luca, for coming on. New York City regulations say that we need to have our council member on board with our effort. In this case, because our district, because our bid boundaries overlap into 2 districts, we have 2 council members. We have Carmen de la Rosa, and then we have in District 10, and then we have Shona Abreu in District 7. Carmen de la Rosa has the lion's share of the district, but we still need both of our council members to, be contributing and be supportive of what we're doing. And we're grateful that we have the support of both of them. And as far as the services that we are going to hopefully be implementing, it would be sanitation, which would mean we'd have a lot clean. The streets would be a lot cleaner. Security, with optional cameras to be placed in our businesses, meaning they could say yes or no. Obviously, not everybody would be keen about having a camera in their business for privacy reasons, but it would be linked to a centralized system, not the NYPD, a centralized, sort of like, and I'm just saying this as just for an example, sort of like ADT, where there's like a centralized location and they monitor, what is going on. So that is written into our budget. Cleaner streets and safer communities bring more people into the community. More people come into the community, more businesses open, more people, shop. And thus the cycle of economic development starts. So that's a very brief overview of it. And again, Wayne and Denise, if you wanted to add anything, and Luca, we're very happy that you're here and that Councilmember Abreu is supporting us.
Yeah, I mean, I would just add to what Jackie said is, a business improvement district can provide a range of services. And the beautiful thing is it's the property owners and the merchants who, inform, the bid team what their priorities are, which is why, I mean, the outreach isn't important just to get the buy-in. The outreach is important to say, when this bid is operational, not if, I said when, what do you want us to deliver for you? And so, the bid in, along Broadway and Lower Washington Heights may not deliver the same services as, the bid on 34th Street or the bid in Coney Island. They're different business communities.
Denise, do you want to add anything?
No, I think you covered it. I'm glad that, you have the opportunity to talk about this, particularly since the outreach is coming up very soon.
And Luca, you are our champion tonight.
Yeah, so just from our perspective, we are, as you said, I'd like to reiterate that we are in support of the creation of this bid, and we are here as a resource for you guys, whether that be to get in contact with businesses in the boundaries of the bid, or if you need help communicating with SBS, or if there's any just general guidance you might need from our office, we're here for you guys.
And Jackie, did you share with the committee what the boundaries of the bid are? I think that was done in the
Yeah,
past.
in the beginning I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I will, and I did. I will reshare. Okay. Broadway between 155th Street and 178th Street. We have an extension on 168th Street between Broadway and Amsterdam. So it's a large bid. It's about a mile and a half.
Yeah, and this bid goes and it touches the existing, Washington Heights 181st Street bid.
And how is the outreach going to be done?
Well, we're not there yet. It is right now. We are still in planning, but we're ready for outreach. We won't start it officially until the next fiscal year because we are working with SBS on this. SBS has to be a partner on this. They give us the direction, they give us the funding, and so it doesn't look like we will be able to do. We won't be doing outreach until the next fiscal year, which begins in July. Because it really needs to be a coordinated effort. We can't just do a little bit here and a little bit there. It has to be all at once, everybody on board. Everybody making it's a community effort. And we're hoping that we get a lot of community support for it in the effort.
And when that outreach begins, that I'm sure is an excellent opportunity for business development to help with it, to help promote that outreach.
Certainly. Yeah, I think that should be a priority actually of the committee, is to help spread the word about the bid, see where we can, how we can physically help, if it's, phone calls, walking from, in our respective neighborhoods, just trying to spread the word as well. I wanted to ask, Luca, do you know if does your office get regular updates about the bid?
You're on a steering committee. I think you share it amongst your staff, but you're on our
not me in particular, but Ian, who is normally on this committee, he gets regular updates. Yes.
Yeah. Should I go over the steering committee? Who's on our steering committee? Would that be helpful?
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, Wayne and Denise. It's led by Cloth is facilitating it. So we have Community League of the Heights, New York Presbyterian, Columbia University, Hispanic Society, United Palace, the Edge Hotel. You know, believe it or not, I have a list right here. And I swear I didn't bring it for this. I just sort of have it. The Edge Hotel. We have 2 of the 3 co-ops. One is Denise's co-op. The other co-op is Woodrow Court, which is on Broadway and 170th Street. We have a couple of property owners. Bruce Robertson, who is a community board member. He's on Broadway Malls. They are our latest addition to our steering committee. We have Jackie Alamain from the Wahai Chamber of Commerce, and a few property owners, and some merchants. Lambros from Anthony Flowers. And, you know, if you know anybody, any merchants, you know, I've spoken to several merchants, and a lot of them are interested in joining the steering committee, but a lot of them are very busy, obviously. So, but any merchant who is located within our bid boundaries, we welcome anybody who's within our bid boundaries. We welcome them to the committee. Because we really, really need to make this. We really want this to be a community effort. This is for the community. It's benefiting the community. It's just going to make Broadway cleaner, safer. It'll attract. You know, we have a lot of vacancies right now. The vacancy rate, it's lower. It's still lower than the pandemic. I still can't believe that, but it's still creeping up to like 15%. And as far as variety is concerned, you know, we have a lot of pharmacies, you know, we have a lot of restaurants, God bless, you know, obviously that's a good thing. You know, everybody likes to have variety of cuisine, but lots of vacancies to be filled. The number is about, if it's about 15%, the number is about 40, I'd say, vacancies, 50 vacancies maybe. So, you know, a lot of room for new stores to come in.
Yes, and I think that would make the neighborhood even more vibrant. OC, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. You mentioned pharmacies, and I noticed even up here in Inwood along Broadway, probably between, I want to say 204 to 214. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have at least 5 or 7 pharmacies. Is there a research or study about why do we have so many pharmacies in such a small proximity?
I could surmise, first of all, there are no Rite Aids anymore. There are no CVS. Those are gone. There was a Rite Aid that was on Broadway, as a matter of fact. They closed about 4 months ago.
Those are not new pharmacies.
No, but they are the larger ones. Okay?
I understand.
So I would also say, this is just me speculating, the hospitals, New York Presbyterian hospitals, right there, the clinics are right there. And Allen, I guess, is up in Inwood, correct? One of the Presbyterian hospitals?
But it's kind of 5-7 blocks away from the nearest pharmacy on our side, not the Bronx side.
Yeah, I'm just speculating.
Mhm.
That I don't know.
Okay. If by any chance you find out, will be interesting to know. Why do we have so many pharmacies?
Yeah.
I have nothing against pharmacies. I'm just curious about
Nobody does, but there's a lot of them.
That is a wonderful Steve Simon question, OC.
Oh, really? Okay. I'll check with him.
Well, we do appreciate that update, and I'm happy that Luca was able to join us. I know Ian did want to jump on, so maybe next month he can jump on as well. We could see if he had any specific questions or if he needed. Go ahead, Carl.
So she talks about the prescribed numbers or percentages of different components of this bid. Merchants, property owners, residents. So how far have you gone in terms of like hitting the target numbers?
Well, we have, as far as property owners are concerned, obviously New York Presbyterian and Columbia are large property owners. But we also have other, besides New York Presbyterian and Columbia, we have other like independent property owners. The co-ops, those are both properties. So those are, although they still need to take this to their shareholders. I'd say we are at about 14 or 15% around there. And we need 51%, but we haven't even done outreach yet. We have, although a lot of property owners, because of our needs assessment, they know that this is something that we want to do. And this is not the first time, by the way. This was done cloth, as a matter of fact. I wasn't here. 2015. This was attempted in 2015, and they came very, very, very close. I think it was one property owner away. So yeah.
I mean, just as background on that, I actually go back with this bid effort. I was going to say many years, but probably still more like many decades. Because in my prior life, I was director of residential development for Harlem Community Development Corporation, which actually covered all of Upper Manhattan. And in addition to residential, I also worked with some, cultural arts and small business organizations. And we provided a grant to Cloth to do the initial study to look at the feasibility of a bid both on Broadway and Amsterdam. And it was actually a much larger geographic area because it went all the way down to the City College area. So it was like from 135th, 137th, all the way up to touch the Washington Heights bid. So I left that job in 2014. So, I mean, there's been work on this, going, back more than a decade, but it's a lot of work to get to the property owners and to get to merchants who have the time to talk to you, right? And who understand, the bid and how it benefits them. So, it's an iterative process that we are hopeful that this iteration will be it.
It will be it, not
Yes.
we hope.
Yes, it will.
It will be it. Thank you. Merci.
Listen, outreach could take another 2, 3 years, 4 years.
It's a long process, but in the end, it will be worth it. I just think it'll just heighten. I mean, we love the community now, but I just, we have some things that we need to kind of fix.
Well,
So
I mean, cleaning the streets, is not a bad thing.
No,
It'll clean it, making it obviously optional cameras. Everybody understands the concern with, what we're offering. This will be part of what we're offering merchants is that, to put a camera in their business with a centralized location monitoring system. So again, it's optional. We do understand that not everybody, is going to welcome a camera in their business, but it'll make people feel safer.
So I think, so you said that fiscal year starts in July, right?
The next the city fiscal year starts in July. Yes.
Okay, so we have some months until then. If anybody else needs some updates or has any questions, we'll be able to send them over to you. We'll stay in contact with Sean Abreu's office, who seems very invested and very interested in helping to get this pushed through. I'll reach out to Ian as well to see if he would like to join next month's meeting in case he had anything that he wanted to ask specifically or if he needed anything from us. I was a little unclear because there was an email sent and I don't know if it was him or Anthony who was asking for updates. So we'll figure that out and have everything ready for next month's meeting. But I think this was a good update. This is a good kind of starting point for us to build from this, and really make this a priority of the committee, because I think it's very important. In any way that we can support along the way, let us know. Does anybody have any other questions? Hi, Darlie, I see you now. Okay, moving along to the agenda. Do we have any new business? Anybody have any new business that they want to discuss? Any new business? I'm looking. Any old business? Old business, I'll quickly say that we are planning to have some type of an event, just like I'm calling it like a coffee and conversation. Thank you, Jackie. Feel better, get some rest. Appreciate you. We're just gonna have like a coffee and conversation for small businesses, for small business owners to get together, to speak. We're still fleshing it out now, but I'm going to resend everyone the one-sheeter that I put together. And that was just like a first draft. So I spoke with Anthony. He's all for it. So we're looking for space. We're looking for a sponsor for like coffee and donuts, whatever. It's going to be very simple, maybe a 2-hour event. We'll hold it somewhere. We'll have some speakers, and we'll allow business owners to speak about any challenges or any help or assistance or resources that they're in need of, just so we can get a little bit of a tap on what's happening in the community with the small business owners. So I will send everybody over that information. Hopefully we could have it maybe in April or May. So I'll give us a little bit of time to plan it, but that's I guess it's considered old business because we had chatted about that maybe in January. So I'll send you the updates on that. Anybody else, any old business, anything they wanted to discuss, anything they wanted to, Denise?
Hi, yeah, I had a question about how you promote this small business event. Just we have in our building, we have 5 commercial tenants. And I don't know, I think this might be my first time ever attending your community board meeting. So anyway, if you could.
Yeah. Sure. So we'll send it out. We have a e-blast list that we send out information to our business owners, but we also do it through the community board meetings. We have a newsletter. We have our social media. I'll definitely will announce it, and I'll send the information over to you and Jackie, of course, so you can invite your tenants. But that's another thing we're working on, is how to outreach and get a lot of the businesses involved in our committee and the things that we're doing, because I want to offer them a lot of resources and ways to help their businesses out. So thank you, Luca. Really appreciate you joining. I'll send you a follow-up email. Thank you. Okay. So that's really it. That's really it on
Hi,
the agenda.
Rudai.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Do you have any preference in terms of the location where we want to host the coffee gathering?
No, as long as it's in Washington Heights or Inwood, and it could hold like maybe up to 30 people.
Up to 30 people. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe up to that. Yeah, we could cap it at that. Yeah, so if anybody has any idea on space, definitely would love your input. And also, if anyone has any ideas on any speakers that we should have during the meetings, please send them over. Any topics you want to cover, please send them over.
Well, Radia, are you aware that the former chair of this committee is now at the Empowerment Zone and he's working with small business lending?
Yes.
So
He
definitely
actually
invite him back.
Yes. He jumped on very quickly last month, so we have to get him back in here.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. Perfect. Okay, everybody. If no one has anything else, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything on the agenda. Nope, that's it. This meeting is officially adjourned at 8:01. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you very much. All right,
Yes, I don't.
everybody. Have a great night. Everyone be safe, and we will speak
Bye.
soon.
Thank you.
Wonderful.